In the last four games across all the series, we've had three blowouts. First, we saw the Heat blow out the Philly 76ers. Then we saw Suns just come out and thrash the Mavs. And what happened yesterday between the Grizzlies and the Warriors is just inexplicable. The
Oof.
Warriors were trailing by 55 at one point in time. They kind of salvaged it to a 39-point loss, but still, 39 is huge. The Warriors starters were pulled off with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. I've never seen that happening in a playoff game. Both teams just knew the result therein. But the one game that went down to the wire was a classic. The Bucks and the Celtics. The Bucks were trailing by 14 with 10 minutes to go. And what happened after that was incredible. Let's talk all about these games in today's episode. Let's start off with the Warriors and Grizzlies and just put that out of the way. There's not much to discuss in that game. The Warriors lost 134 to 95. There's no point looking at the box scores because it really won't even tell the story because
Yep.
it was stupid that game. Klay Thompson ended with a plus minus of minus 45, which is the highest ever in playoff history, along with Andre Drummond in 2019. Highest ever in playoff history, minus 45.
Amand.
The Warriors, I think the one
Oh
stat, if you
man.
look at the scores, is that they got out rebounded 55 and 37. And the number of offensive rebounds that the Grizzlies were getting, it just seemed like they wanted this more. The Warriors felt a little more relaxed and they're like, okay, we'll go back home and get this game. But is this something that will haunt them that you lose this big, the momentum can swing, right? Or it's just going to be like one bad game, forget it, and let's start from 0-0 going into the home game. How do you think this will play out in game six?
Yeah, one bad game. I think they should look at this as a look at game six as a one and done. Think you're back in college basketball. You win one game, you go through, and that's that. The end of that story. Um, yeah, it's inexplicable, but there were signs though. In the previous game, we were talking about it. I'm sure everyone noticed. I can't remember when both of the Splash brothers stunk it up that bad as they did
Yeah.
in the previous game. They somehow still got on points because they were shooting volumes, but they had a bad shooting night overall. They somehow scraped by. They found the win, got some stops here and there. They put together a playoff win. It wasn't a
Yeah.
dominating performance. And they were rescued by the support crew shooting key shots at the right time. Now it just all came to a grand finale in this game. Let's just say where everyone sucked. Like the Warriors, everyone sucked. And you're right. The
Yep.
box scores are pointless because if you look at the playing minutes, you'll think they were cruising to a win and they took players off. Like you just don't understand it if you
Yep.
didn't watch the game. Just how bad it
Yep.
was. Um, I don't have an answer. Look, I like what they're doing. They have. I think the Warriors should try should stop trying to be the Suns. What the Suns do is what they've always done, which is there's enough ball for everyone. Nobody shoots volume except Devin Booker, and that too if he has to. Which means at any point you have the threat of five, six people getting to double digits.
Right.
The Suns can do that for two reasons. One, they've got the depth. Agreed, the Warriors have that too. And they don't have a Steph Curry or a
Mhm.
Clay. Like Devin Booker is
Yep.
amazing. He's not Steph Curry. Um, I think the Warriors should stop doing this and go back to their good old. We have two of the most elite shooters of all time, and then
Yeah.
there's Jordan Poole.
Yep.
Depending on whether he's starting, coming off the bench to accommodate a better defender, you've got all of that. You've got Kuminga in the post. You've got that energy. You've got options. You've got Wiggins who can shoot off the dribble. You've got all these things as backup, and that's exactly what they are.
Yep.
They should be utilized the way Luka uses his team in that big game four win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luka decided when the ball goes around and when it stays. Whereas for the Warriors, I feel like they're trying to play a little too much team ball, and they can
Mm-hmm.
do it well. But the risk is sometimes when the big stars stink it up, they
Yeah.
don't get enough volume to make up for it, and so it doesn't matter what the other guys do. And if they also stink it up, well, you have this, which is a
Absolutely.
blowout defeat. So I would treat it as a one-off, and Warriors should just go into Game Six saying, "All right, let's get one game and move forward." But this would have been a nice little jolt, maybe enough
Yeah.
to make the right adjustments before they play. I want to say Phoenix, but I don't know who comes through in the other series.
Absolutely. Let's get to that. The Phoenix Suns came back after losing two consecutive games. They've never lost
Hmm.
three in a row this season, and they came back and trashed the Mavs 110-80. And in this game, if you look at the scores, I think Luka got 28 points something, but I would say he was bad in this game. Like he seemed like he was just handling a lot of the ball. He he got two assists. That's not Luka. the Mavericks are not winning this series if Luka is not getting somewhere close to 7, 8 assists. It's not that this team was terrible. He didn't get opportunities because he was hogging the ball so much. And this was very uncharacteristic of Luka, I would say. He does hog the ball a lot, but he always makes those right passes, right? In this game, it seemed like he was trying to be the hero, and it didn't really work out. The Suns are a good enough defense to lock him down. They'll give him his 30 points, and they're happy to give him that as long as you're
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson and Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith had 6 attempts. He had 8 threes in the previous game and 6 attempts this game. So that kind of shows that, okay, the Suns really locked them up, and they were keen to get that home win, and now they travel to Dallas to wrap up the series. Do you agree with that? I mean, Luka was bad, I would say. I mean, 28 points, not reflective of how we played.
I don't know if I would entirely go that extreme. I mean, he did have 28 and 11, and he's getting steals these days. By the way, 2 games back to back, four steals, 3 steals. Can't complain. Ever since Jason Kidd said he's got to stand up for himself, he has been doing a little bit of that. I wouldn't go so far as to say he's a reliable playoff defender. For me, I'm looking at the team assist tally. Look, first of all, they got outplayed. Plain and simple. They got outplayed. Got played off the floor. We should have seen this coming. The series shifts back to where the Suns are strong. That crowd is quite something. This was a Suns home game, right? So I'll be shocked if they have that many fans in Dallas. Okay, they had, and you know that come out fighting. Chris Paul's pissed off. This guy's blah blah blah. They got a point to prove. And so far, Luka's been manhandling their defense. If Aiton's out, it's a mismatch. He's getting butchered. Anyone else, they're just too small. Nobody has the size to take on Luka. Not Bridges, not Chris Paul. So they got their shit together defensively. And when I'm more concerned about the team assist tally. Okay, Luka got 2 assists, fine. But in the previous game, if you notice how this series progressed, first 2 games they got played off the floor, the Mavs. Luka was the only guy that looked like he had a clue as to what was going on.
Yeah.
He was dominating the stats and no win.
Yeah.
Right. And then game 3 and 4, he started letting more of the team get in on the action.
Exactly.
The ball was distributed more. So now you had, by the time game 4 rolled around, you had Bertans getting into double digits. You had Dinwiddie showing up, who was pretty much non-existent throughout the series.
Yep. Yeah. He's been having a hard playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, even against Utah, I think he was kind of silent.
Which, by the way, he's never really had a great playoff run. He's always been in those shitty teams in regular seasons, sort of, being an impressive little squad player. It's a bit like if the Cavs suddenly get exposed in the playoffs. In a new club with an off the bench role, it's a lot. So he got shots up. Brunson went off. Dorian Finney-Smith, game of his life. Right. So all of this stuff was happening. But if you notice, there's one more key thing that happened in these games, especially in game 4, which is the Suns as a team. The Mavs as a team started putting up a whole lot more assists than they used to, because now it's not just Luka, the ball's going around, which means they're playing more like a Miami Heat kind of ball, where the ball always finds the right man and the right shot.
Right.
That went missing. It was I think that single-digit assists, the entire team combined. We're used to seeing Luka get double digits. The entire Mavs had single digits.
Yep.
So I think it was a collective collapse. Luka getting 28 and 11 is probably the highlight of that disastrous performance. 80 points in a playoff game. Anytime in the last 15 years is just not good enough. You'll have to go back to the early 2000s too. And even then it would be a tough fought win. So they just got shut down. They got shut down by the Suns. The next game moves back to Dallas.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
So they have a way back in the series still?
Yeah, but a game 7 in Phoenix. So I think it'll be a hard fought series, but a good win for Phoenix.
I think if it goes to game 7, I would favor the Mavs. I just think Luka in a big game, he always gives you a chance, no matter who we're playing against.
No, Luka gives anyone a chance against anyone. I firmly believe that, right? It is so hard to bet against Luka. Because you never quite know which version of him you'll get, which could be disastrous also. It's just, he's one of those maverick genius. How about that? Maverick genius. It's tough, but Phoenix home crowd, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, they came that close to winning the chip last year. Folding in the semis this year would be, I don't know, that would be disastrous for me. The number 1 seed coming in, for me, that would be disastrous against the Mavs to have a 2-0 lead, no less.
Yep. Yep.
And then to crumble in game 7 would be a pretty bad end to the series. So slight edge to the Suns, but yeah, game on if they take the next one. The Mavs win game 6.
I agree. If Phoenix have to wrap it up in 6, you don't want to go to game 7. It can go either way. I mean, it can go either way. Imagine just Luka getting off to a hot start and suddenly you're down 15. And that's pressure because you're thinking of, oh, you're going back home. If you lose this, well, they'll be playing at home, but I mean, going back to their real home.
And they've got shooters too. They've got a bunch of shooters
Yep,
now, the
yep,
Mavs. So
yep.
if he can get them going, forget Luka going. Luka can get going at any time. If he can get them going, it's the
Yep.
fourth quarter. The game's close. If it's within single digits, whichever team's leading, I would not dare bet against Luka.
Yep.
Because he's a scientist in picking people apart in the fourth quarter. It's just impossible to see what he's doing next.
Agreed. The Bucks and the Celtics. Let's get that. Let's get to talk about that. Bucks 110, 107. All the games in the series have been super close. Even I know the first game the Bucks won pretty comfortably. The Celtics kind of made a little bit of comeback. But in terms of intensity, this is classic playoff basketball. Giannis finished with 40 points, Jrue Holiday with 24. Yeah. Bobby Portis got 14 points and 15 important rebounds. Tatum had 34, Jalen had 26. The Bucks were trailing by 14 with 10 minutes left. And I think this is when I was texting you, right? And with 1 minute left, they had, or 1.5 minutes left, they were trailing by 6. Giannis had a 3-point all to himself. Nobody expected him to go for it because he was 2 of 17 in this whole series from 3. That audacity, that confidence to take that shot on and make it. I think if Bucks progress to the finals and they win the title, this is a very
This was the game. This is the moment.
This was the game. Like, because if you miss that, the Celtics have the ball, they lead by 6. Then if they finish, they lead by 8 with 1 minute to go. It's tough to come back from that. He made it a 3-point game. Jrue Holiday took over after that. He made a very important 3-pointer. Giannis won 2 free throws, missed one. Bobby Portis with an important offensive rebound, gets that going. Jrue Holiday with the block and a steal in the last 10 seconds to just wrap up the game. This is where the series has shifted. Celtics had a home game. They were leading. They just blew it. I mean, all they had to do was box out, get stops, keep the Bucks at bay, preserve their lead. They were not able to do it. And I think the Bucks are going to run away with it. It's a tough spot to come back from, is what I'm trying to say.
Without doubt, with especially when, okay, so I watched the end and I was pretty blown away. But it was the last thing I did. I just crashed out after that. I was barely awake when the game ended because I was up all night. Let me say this: Giannis is at a level today that maybe once in a generation you see this. Yep. Of a player who can by himself win you a best of 7 against pretty much any team in the league. Yep. You would give him a shot. The odds might go up and down depending on who it is, but he has a shot. He's never ruled out to go solo by himself, destroy any team in a playoff series, in a 7-game, in a best of 7. You've had that maybe with Magic, but even then we'd never know because he had great support always.
Mm-hmm.
You had that with LeBron for a bit. You had that with Kobe for a while in the 2000s, and there's Jordan.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. One man will get it done against anyone in the league. Giannis to me is at that level. Hakeem also wasn't quite there. It required a Jordan to move out of the league and a Barkley who was destabilized, none of that. This is unreal. I thought the game was gone when the last few minutes. But if you see so I was doing a combination of texting, watching the game in split when I was on my mobile. I was about to crash last quarter. And I was following the play-by-play just in case I missed something because I just kept getting in and out. I was that exhausted. And I'm reading the play-by-play. If you read the play-by-play commentary in the last 3 minutes, every clutch defensive rebound, every time the Celtics missed a shot, Giannis defensive rebound, Giannis defense. Last 3 minutes, I think he got 4 in just the last 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
And those could have gone either way.
He had a big block on Horford as well.
Yeah. There were box outs. There's everything. Oh, Giannis just wants it more than the other guy. Gets the ball. Goes down the other end. One of those plays, he found himself one-on-one against Jaylen Brown. You know he's driving through. If that happens. Like, you've got to put bodies there. Jaylen Brown, one-on-one, it's over. Did that, dunk. Took that audacious 3. 40% from 3, by the way, tonight. Above 50% shooting, whatever the number is, 16 of 27, I think it was. What a guy. He won it all by himself. Credit, though, also to Jrue Holiday. I think the second half defense was exceptionally good after Celtics were off to a great start.
Yep, agreed. It seemed like he took it personally, not being considered for the defensive player of the year. He took it on. He took it out on the defensive player of the year. Marcus Smart was just
Yeah, you got a
blocked,
steal on him too.
and the steal to just
Yeah.
add insult to injury. Oh wow!
Wait,
You think
hold on.
the
By the way, two things. One, if you're going to take not winning DPOY personally, this is how you do it. Not like what Embiid's doing with his MVP.
I agreed.
So he
Agreed.
sucked his
Totally.
ass off on the floor that day.
Yes.
And the other thing is the Bucks Twitter, they tweeted out RDPOY.
RDPOY.
That's going to make Giannis now take it personally. Because if anyone from the Bucks should have won it, it was Giannis, not Giroux.
You think the Bucks are going to wrap this in 6?
Yeah.
Home game now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
It's a tough
I think
spot to
you
come back
give
from.
Giannis blood, he smells blood, it's over. That's when I was
agree.
going with the once in a generation player, Jordan,
Right.
LeBron, etc., etc. You know that we've talked about LeBron doing this before, right?
Yeah.
That one game where you say, okay, we win this, let's just end the misery for everyone. Wrap this up, send it home. There's just a different level of player that comes out. We saw this from Giannis in Game 6 in the finals. Saw it from LeBron in the bubble against Miami, against the Rockets, against Nuggets. Yeah, I think we'll get that version of Giannis. I think that Horford thing really pissed him off in the previous game. They're like, this guy is going to get compared with me.
Giannis was nice about it. He said, Horford
He's
is playing
always
amazing
nice
for us. Yeah, he's always nice. He never sulks. He never complains to the ref. I like how he never complains. And I like the jokes he makes after games. He's just like playing basketball, enjoying it, and then winning it all while doing so.
Yeah.
The last series, Sixers in the Heat, and the series had shifted, right? The momentum had shifted after Embiid's return. They came back from 2-0 down to wrap it up 2-2. You saw James Harden hit a little bit of form. And then we got back the new James Harden, where he finished with 14 points. Embiid finished with 19. Maxey finished with 9. The Heat just ran away with this one. Jimmy Butler was on fire. He got 23 quick points. Max Strus got 19. By the way, Max Strus has the highest plus minus in this entire playoffs, more than anyone. Gabe Vincent, who replaced Kyle Lowry and was a good replacement, he got 15 points. And game over. The Heat just shut down the Sixers. Like, Sixers couldn't get a shot off properly.
Yep.
Is this series over, or you see another comeback in Philadelphia?
Only because it's Philly. You can't write them off. There's something about that, and Embiid just works for them. But I don't know if they have the mental toughness to fight. Look, if Miami win it in Philly in Game 6, it will forever confirm to me I am so done with all of the players involved and the coach. Doc Rivers, James Harden, Joel Embiid, if they fold in Game 6, they go down punching, go down fighting, okay, fair enough. But if they fold in Game 6, I am done having any kind of hopes from any one of these guys for the rest of their careers, which is not much for James Harden. Because it won't be the first time. It'll be one of many times. Yeah, all of them. That's what, including the coach. The only guy who will get a pass is Tyrese Maxey. Probably all of the other guys like Tobias Harris. I mean, he's put in a solid shift. He's done what they've asked him to.
Yeah.
Tybull's disappeared, by the way. He's doing a Ben Simmons on the defensive end of the floor.
Yep.
Like, I know what. And does Doc Rivers have another daughter that he's linked with, like Seth Curry? I don't know what it is, but there's something going on there. Feels a little to David Moyes and that winger that nobody remembers now. Zaha, was it? It feels like that. Yeah, I know. It's super weird. So that'll seal it for me, but I'll still give Philly a chance because it's a home game. Can't quite write them off. Miami, by the way, great win, blowout, amazing defense. For all of Twitter that was losing their shit over Duncan Robinson not getting minutes.
He got 12 minutes.
Yeah, he got 12 minutes. He got three-point attempts. Hit one of those. That's 33% on just 3 attempts. My man Strus. Is that how his name's pronounced? I have no clue. I've said it like
Max
5 different ways now. Strus. 4 of 10. And the highest plus minus.
Yep.
Just saying, Spoelstra is not a fool.
Of course, Strus has been amazing all season. I mean, he's never making the headlines and not that. He's a brilliant role player who does his job really good. And
I appreciate Spoelstra though. Like when people say you paid the man, what was it, 90 mil for 5 years? How can you not play him? Spoelstra is mature enough to know that we paid him true. He's not my first choice right now. Strus is also true.
Yep.
One mistake cannot be extended to make another mistake, and he's got the maturity and the leadership to say whatever. He didn't even respond. He didn't even give a damn. I don't know if he's on Twitter. Is Eric Spoelstra even on Twitter?
I don't know. I never seen him on Twitter.
He doesn't care. Doesn't give a damn. Just cold, ice cold confidence. I love it.
Absolutely. Do you think if Laurie is fit for the next game, he still plays? I think he should not
No, he
because
shouldn't. Yeah, why disturb a winning thing, right? Why disturb
yep,
a winning
yep.
formula?
Because Gabe Vincent was good
Yeah.
as a backup point guard. He was really good all season whenever Laurie missed a game. So I would trust them. I didn't know them before the start of the season. Now I know them and they're really
Nobody did.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think Laurie. It's also good to have. So first of all, Laurie. He's a bit like Haslam also in some sense that it's great to have his presence in the locker room, kind of like how Rondo was for the Hawks for a
Yeah.
while, or
Yeah.
that kind of impact. And then if need be, he can be called upon. He doesn't necessarily have to start or get major minutes, but he's there. If you need defensive tenacity, he's there. If you need somebody to carry the ball, of which by the way the Heat have plenty.
Yeah.
They need him to do it. Okay, he's always available. So they don't necessarily have to alter their game plan to force fit him into this series. I think there's still a long way to go. They've got a series to win. They've got a conference finals to prepare for. If they win the series, I think Lowry will get his chance. I don't think they should force things through in such a pivotal game where they can close out the series.
Agreed. Agreed. Those two games today, the Suns take on the Mavs and the Heat take on the Sixers. You expect the Suns and the Heat to wrap this up, right? Oh, you
I
said
no, I'm
Philadelphia
actually,
would
yeah,
win.
I'm saying. Well, no, I expect the Heat to wrap it. I'm just giving them an outside chance, Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect the Mavs to win Game 6.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I expect the Suns to win Game 6, but if
I
Mavs
want the
take
Mavs
that,
to just say that. I really.
yeah, I want the Mavs to win as well. And if I feel if they win Game 6, they're going to win Game 7 as well.
Yeah.
That's my
I tell
pick.
you what, if they go through to the conference finals, this team that we were not too long ago debating, is this the year they get their first series win under Luka? This team might have a shot at going to the finals. Imagine that.
I agree.
Imagine if
I
they
agree.
go all the way, beat the Bucks, the Warriors, just everyone.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
that's
be a
going to be a
sight?
fairy tale. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Porzingis can just mope mope in Washington or wherever he went to.
No, he contributed. They couldn't have done all of this without Dinwiddie
without being traded. All right, then we'll come back and talk tomorrow about these two games. It's going to be a fun evening, I would say.
Right, man.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye.